Good afternoon from Pinhole Quilting at our Pershore showroom. I hope that everybody who joins us either live or on catch-up is having a good day. Obviously things are slightly tempered here in the UK as a result of the bad news last week, the very sad news of Her Majesty the Queen on the 8th of September. Like everybody, it was very sad to hear the news. In some ways not altogether surprising, as we'd seen how frail she was recently. But, you know, it's something that obviously is a very big event here in the UK. And we are going to be marking the end of the period of mourning on Monday as the Queen goes to her final resting place at St George's Chapel in Windsor. So we wish you a very good day here, and we're getting ready for our events with Tillene Jeffrey, which are happening next week. But I thought I'd just go, hello Liz, I'm getting messages, which is great. You have to bear with me because this is me on my own, and she wants to join us on video. Okay. The lovely thing about this time of year is not only after Festival of Quilts, we've got another quilt show that Pete's at right now. So he is up there with in Harrogate with Graham Farah and Carol Watson, who are both Harrogate Quilt owners. Graham has got an Amara with Pro Stitcher, and Carol has got a Moxie with Pro Stitcher Light. Hi Mary, hi, good to have you on here. Lovely to see everybody who's joined us today, live on Facebook Live. Hi Trisha, Trisha, Dan Surrey, I think it is, or is it? Oh, no, Berkshire. And we look forward to seeing you. And Jenny, you'll be coming over next week. That will be fantastic. So it's just me. Actually, Mark's here as well. Some of you will have met, he's just waved. Met him at Festival of Quilts. He's just putting all the threads away. You know, all those glide threads? Well, somebody's got to put them away. So Mark has been doing a sterling job. And hi, Helen from Hampshire. Nice to have you on here. Yeah, so if you're up in the area of Harrogate or you fancy a lovely day out, Grosvenor Shows is at the Harrogate Showgrounds with the Great Northern Quilt Show. It's a competitive show. And I just saw that Linda Jackson, our Harrogate Quilter ambassador and educator Linda, has just posted to say that one of her quilts, the red one that we had here during the last, Sheena, I hope you're getting better from COVID, and Michaela and Nikki Ellis over in Redditch, fantastic. Michaela, good to have you on board. And yeah, so they're up at the Harrogate Quilt Show, and Linda got runner-up and overall large wall hanging awards. For It's Got to Be Red, is it? I can't remember, sorry. Had to be red. So that's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. That quilt has done so well, and deservedly so. The border treatment on it, if you go to Harrogate, oh yeah, Judy, you had to miss the last few weeks. Well, we've not done so well since festival. First of all, we got COVID. Don't recommend it, obviously. Yeah, it was still sort of, I don't know if anybody else has had this, but Mark had the same, and Pete's had it too, of course. And we've got really hungry since we've recovering from, it might just be an excuse to go into autumn and have some little treats and things, but after the warm weather. But, let me just decline Mike. Sorry, Mike, I'll have to call you back. Just an incoming phone call there. I can't do everything at the same time. This is what happened the last time I did Facebook Live completely on my own, apart from when Pete was playing cricket. Everything happened. I don't know whether you remember that one. That was the one where we had the call from the back of the ambulance with Helen. Didn't know it was Helen at the time. It was just this answer phone went off while I was in the middle of Facebook Live. And the message I picked up later was, oh, hi, I'd like to pay a deposit on the Amara. This was last year, literally, after Harrogate Show. I'm in the back of an ambulance. I'll call you back. And of course, the question was, why? Oh yeah, Jan's going, I remember that. That was so funny. Who was it? Oh yes, it was Natalie Dyer, who runs the Harmony Quilt Studio, where we've just installed a second machine. And Natalie said she watched that back on Facebook or YouTube, and she said she literally had tears running down her face just looking at the trail of things that have, she said, you fell off the saddle stool. I'd cut my hand on a pair of wadding scissors. I mean, you know, wadding scissors, really. They're blunt ends, but they are sharp, really, really sharp. And then the answer phone went off. Then I couldn't find the answer phone, how to turn it off. Oh my goodness. Hi, Jan from the States. Good to have you on board. So that was really funny. And Natalie, she was even laughing so much when she was recounting the story of how much she was laughing so much. That's how much she was laughing. So yeah, it was pretty funny. When I played it back, I thought, yeah, that looked really... The thing was, I was inside, I was just a mess. But outside, I just looked fine. I just looked like, okay, that's just happened. Yeah, it's good to be able to do those things, isn't it? Anyway, I was reflecting on the fact that, we were talking about the Harrogate Quilt Show. This is where I really do rely on Pete, because he kind of keeps me on track. And you can tell I'm already doing like a Ronnie Corbett story. And if people don't know the two Ronnies, then you really do need to watch it on YouTube. And little Ronnie Corbett, about my height, used to go rambling on his stories. Hi Glenys, going to see you next week. Looking forward to that with Jan. I'm really glad that you can make it. Yeah, we're going to have fun. So we are getting ready for Telen's class, and well, I'm getting ready. As I said, what we? Actually, me and Pauline. Pauline's been doing all the cutting and the wadding and stuff, and I'm just loading the frames now. I've got one behind me. I've got a Studio 2 frame behind me, and just started loading. Lots and lots of fabric. And Pete is up in Harrogate with Graham. So if you fancy a trial and have a go at the Quilt Show, go and see the Harrogate show. It's a really nice show. We love it there because it's just it's got a lovely variety. Hi Joan from Thassos. Oh wow. That's brilliant. Wow, very international audience today. So, it's a competitive quilt show, so you get the lovely thing with the really nice new quilts and things that people have done, and it's just a lovely show to go and get your accessories and fabrics and things like that and have a wander around, and it's a lovely environment. It's out on the showground, and when you drive to the showground just outside of Harrogate, which is a lovely place, I used to live in Leeds, and on a Sunday, it was a Sunday, Saturday or Sunday, it was Ladies' Day at the Harrogate Baths before they completely renovated it and made it a little bit more fancy. Hi from Calgary. Oh, Val, I was supposed to go to Calgary, then we got COVID. Not we couldn't get COVID, we had the COVID epidemic. And I was supposed to go to the Calgary Stampede in 2020. Gutted, and I never made it back. So we were going to do like a road trip all the way from Vancouver to Calgary, meet up with like 50 friends in Invermere. Beautiful part of the country. Yeah, sad times. Things we missed out on, eh? Anyway, where was I? So I was talking about Harrogate. So when you go to the showground outside of Harrogate, oh yeah, the baths. So the baths were absolutely brilliant. And you just got like women completely, obviously, in the nothing, walking around. I used to take my Sunday papers, and they were almost like a dried out, it's probably like me, dried out sort of wrinkly mess by the end of it. So you go from like the warm room to the warmer to the warm to the absolutely warmest. And then you jump in the cold pool. And then when you got out, there were two women there. And it was almost like that French and Saunders thing. I think it was French and Saunders, or was it Julie Walters? Where they wore the aprons with the bikini over the top. Do you remember that sketch? That was hilarious. They'd get these mitts on that were really rough and they'd rub you down. And I don't know why I'm telling you this, but anyway, it was a really interesting experience to go to the Harrogate steam baths, and you'd come out and you'd feel like every pore had been cleaned. Beautiful. Anyway, it's a bit nicer now. It's been done up, but actually it used to be lovely then. It was real locals. Yeah, so it would be great with Telen. I admire her work. Wish I could be there. Michaela, yes, we wish you could be here as well because your work is so beautiful. So we have a bank holiday on Monday. We'll probably be working part of the day because we've got to get ready. But I thought I'd share with you. I've got a picture here, back of Buckingham Palace. Back of Buckingham Palace. Here we go. This is me and Pete when we were younger. You see? That's the back of Buckingham Palace when we went to a garden party. And we had cucumber sandwiches and we wandered around the gardens, and it was absolutely beautiful weather, about 77 degrees. Oh my goodness, those gardens are beautiful. And it's just the most amazing thing to go through those front gates at Buckingham Palace, walk across the gravel, straight in the front door, straight out the back door and into the garden. So that was a pretty special moment, and yeah, we had a lovely afternoon, absolutely beautiful. So and the other, I suppose, people are recounting their connections, and I know that Di Bell met the Queen because she was working as a dental nurse, which must have been fantastic. But yeah, Silver Jubilee, yeah, that was fantastic. But also, the Queen was very good at responding to letters and things, and also Prince Charles, now King Charles III. When we had a problem nearby here, as a number of our customers know, I had a bit of a problem with a large development of chicken farming that was going to result in about 1.5 million chickens in the nearby fields. One of the young girls wrote to the Queen, "Hi Karen," and I wrote to Prince Charles, and we both got replies. From Prince Charles, he wrote that he was very sorry to hear about the development and made suggestions as to where I could write to, and wished us every success. And the Queen wrote back to the young girl who was right next door to the chicken farm development, and it was a lovely letter. So I think what you can take away from that is that they really did care about the environment and things that were maybe longer term, and that continuity is a very important thing. So I'm very glad that we've got a safe pair of hands for the next part of that monarchy. Right. Yes. So Harrogate. I'm going to go back to work stuff now. Harrogate. Pop in with some glide thread up there, as well as the machines. Say hi to Pete and Carol and Graham. We've got also the Malvern Quilt Show coming up. So, someone was in the queue for 14 hours. He was there for the guard changeover. He said it was amazing. I was watching live on my iPad, so emotional. Who was that? Can't see that. I've lost it. Went to lay some flowers at Sandringham. You see, these are all moments that we'll remember, and it's kind of marking this transition. One of the things I studied at university was anthropology, and these rites of passage are actually incredibly important to all of us in whatever rite of passage it is, and particularly when someone passes away. Back to quilt shows. Oh, it was me at Highgrove. I missed who that is. I can't see who that was. It was me at Highgrove. Oh, okay. Oh, it was you, Di. You were at Highgrove. Okay. Wow. Fantastic. Yes, of course, because Highgrove's not that far from you, is it? Brilliant. Thank you, Di. Thank you for sharing that. And for any other memories you have, just share them. It's a good moment in time to share those things. They're special moments, aren't they? Very personal experiences. The Malvern Quilt Show is coming up in October. That's the autumn one. And that was it was a really good show last year. It was the first of the post-COVID ones, and we really had a good time. It's lovely to see people again. We were still wearing masks at that time. Of course, there is a lot of COVID still around, so we have to be careful, but we're back to almost normal. If anybody's thinking about buying a long arm, I'd definitely say check out the deals that we've got at the Harrogate show. And we had some really good deals at Festival, but those finished yesterday. And check out the Pro Stitch Lite for the Moxie. If you've got a Moxie, it's a really nice upgrade. And Carol at Harrogate has had that upgrade, and she's absolutely loving it. I think by the time Festival had arrived, and she'd only had it for 2 months, Carol, I think she'd already done 6 quilts on her Pro Stitch Lite with her Moxie, and was absolutely loving it. The other thing I posted recently, was it yesterday? Gosh, it might have only been yesterday, day before I think, before Pete went to Harrogate. I posted the winner of the Houston Juried Quilt Show, which was Beyond Reason. It seemed an appropriate quilt as well, because it's a very dark quilt. And what was stunning about it, oh, Pete's on here. Hi from Harrogate, busy here. Can I go and get some lunch now, please, boss? Don't know who he's talking to. Anyway, hope he gets some lunch. Hi, Pete. Thanks for working so hard up at Harrogate. Hope it's good. Hope everything's going well. So the Houston winner, wow, £12,500 cash prize from Handy Quilter for Best in Show. And it was 236,000 pieces or something. You can understand why she called it Beyond Reason. Now, one of the things that I don't know how she quilted it because I couldn't see the quilting. That's the only problem with those pictures. You can't actually see how someone's quilted it. But one of the classes we're doing, which is Friday, Saturday with Selene, is how do you quilt your quilt? Very popular session that we run, have run on various classes. We did one with Jamie Wallen a number of years ago in 2015 when Jamie came over. And it was one of the most successful things that we ran of that class because, you know, it's a big question, how do you quilt it? So I think it'll be a good session. So people are bringing along their quilts and we're going to discuss it in class. Now, I was going to show you on this frame here, I'm just going to move you slightly, tilt you down. Hopefully I don't knock the whole thing off. There we go. So I can step back. There we go. Now, I thought I'd just show, for those of you who don't have a frame, there's no machine on here. Pete's got it up at Harrogate. So what I'm going to do is just show, this is the Studio 2 frame, and it is in the configuration that we call clear view. And clear view because the front of this is dropped down, and it means that we literally have a clear view. It's particularly good when you're doing ruler work. But one of the things I wanted to show is that if you're short, like me, what you can do is take this leader up here to pin up the cloth leader, not pin it up, but pull it up here, and then you don't have to reach forward so far. The alternative is to get the extra long leaders, which you can get, and then we pin it, and it's actually also easier if you pin in one direction from the front and the other direction from the back of the quilt frame. And what I'm doing on here is, actually I'm going to load up, I'm going to load up 3 meters and then 2 meters, which you can put onto that front rail because it's not in the way at all. Because I've got 3 sets of classes, I need plenty of fabric on here, and I'm just going to separate out those classes by having split my fabric. And you could do that. And don't forget, the other thing that you can do is you can lay on pieces of fabric. So say, for example, you'd got a quilt top that was maybe 2 cot-size quilt tops, put on an extra wide piece of fabric and put them side by side and quilt them at the same time. Or do things like placemats. I did placemats a while ago. I just laid 3 and 3, so a row of 3 and a row of 3 across the width of my fabric and quilted them like that and then cut them out. So you don't have to base small pieces. People often ask, well, can I base a small quilt? Yes, you can. But also think about alternative ways of doing things, like the idea of having a bigger piece of fabric on and then just laying one after another. It's also how we did the quilts for care levers. We loaded up 5-meter pieces of fabric and we just laid on the quilt tops, and it worked really well. So just, thinking slightly outside the box about how you do things. And if you're wondering what I do the other side of here, with the 3-meter and 2-meter piece, I just pin those 2 bits together, and then when the customer has finished that first class, we can just unpin it. And then all I've got to do is bring that end up to here, and I've already got it pre-rolled. Because there's a close, it's a tight turnaround, and doing 10 quilt frames actually takes quite a lot of time, as you can imagine. I'm listening to my Buddha bar music. Right. So you can just take that up, and then I can load it onto this rail here. So there we go. I just thought I'd explain that to you and say a few other things. Really, really important. Someone says looking forward to that. I'm not sure what they're talking about because I missed it because it's amazingly long way away. My eyesight isn't that good. Let's see what Nikki said. Oh, we've got loads of things. Looking forward to that. That quilt was astounding. Yes. Wow. Okay. So, Stuart Hillard. Stuart, the lovely Stuart, is coming to do another open day. Very successful, that first open day. It was lovely. It was hot. Very, very hot. And he's coming in November. It won't be hot. It'll probably be quite cool. But we have heating. It's fine. And we might turn it on. It depends. You might have to feed the meter. The thing about Stuart's open day is we've got 2 sessions. Saturday, more convenient for a lot more people, hopefully. We hope you can join us, the 19th of November. And Stuart will be talking about his long arm journey. So Stuart is a Handy Quilter ambassador for Handy Quilter Corporate. like the whole world. And Stuart is going to be doing a talk about how he uses his handy quilter Amara with Pro Stitcher and how he quilts small quilts very quickly. I mean, there's one, he literally had like 6 hours from the time that he got the fabric to actually being on the show with it. So, you know, we're talking about speed quilting. And that's what you can do with the Amara with Pro Stitcher. So let's, you know, see if you can join us. It's £10, and if you buy any stuff on the day, that gets you get that back against any purchases that you make on the day. Bonus, absolute bonus. And we've got loads of stuff here that you want. Thread and accessories and lots of things. And Stuart is such a lovely person. The idea is our main aim for it is to give the opportunity to people who've never really had an extended play on the long arms to have a really good session. And that's why we've put that day on. So if you come along, 9 o'clock for a 9:30 talk start, he talks for about an hour. He could talk for loads longer. I mean, he just keeps, you know, but no, we keep. And then questions as well, which is nice. And then you've got the opportunity to have a go on the machines. And the thing that was interesting on the last one that we did was how many people we got that were actually existing handy quilter owners who had to go on like the new Amara with Pro Stitcher. And guess what? Before they know it, they're going, oh, I really like this. And they've got an Avanti with Pro Stitcher and they've upgraded. Hey, Jane. And a few other people were also very, very interested. Hi from East Grinstead. I've missed who that is. I'm not quite sure how to get to the bottom of all these. Oh, Georgie. Hi, Georgie. Good to see you on here. Georgie's lovely, lovely. And, oh, migraines are much better, thanks, Georgie. Yeah, just in case you needed to know that. So, Stuart will be here Saturday, the 19th of November. Morning session starts 9 o'clock for 9:30 talk, or the afternoon session. You could book the afternoon and have a more leisurely day of it. And that starts at 1 for a 1:30 p.m. start, the talk. Okay. Now, I did make a few other notes of things to talk about, but I forgot what they are now. Oh, yeah, that was the other thing I was going to talk about. Yeah, center marking tape is this thing here. Oh, the number's in reverse. You know what I mean, though. Yes, it is good news. Absolutely brilliant, Georgie. This goes on the idler bar in the center, and then when you move your quilt on, you can see if it's staying within the margins of what you expect. Now, here's the thing. If you're quilting your own quilts, I'm sure that they are perfectly square, but should you be quilting somebody else's that isn't perfectly square, you might want to check the width across various parts of your quilt, like you do when you're squaring it up, right? But on this occasion, when you're doing it on this machine, you can check what that minimum width is and just keep to that minimum width. You can ease fullness in, but you can't make the quilt bigger. So say it's 30 inches, so 0 to 15 each side. You make sure it goes all the way up like that. But say you've got 30 and a half. You're going to ease that bit in as you go so that it stays at 30 all the way down. And don't smooth it to the bottom right-hand, bottom right-hand side. Everything's in reverse. Because that's what everybody does. They kind of smooth it. You actually need to keep it square. There, end of the lesson. I'm going to say goodbye now because I've got to get on and load this frame. And there's quite a few more to do. I've only done one so far. We've been doing other things today. And so I hope that you can... Oh, and pre-love long arms, that's the other thing. If you're interested in a second user, we've just sold another Avanti second user. I think literally they came for a demo and it just went, which is fabulous. So we're excited about that. But there's some real bargains at the moment on our pre-love long arms website. In particular, 2 of the machines have been priced so that they go. And sometimes you kind of wonder, well, maybe people think there's a problem with them. No, they're just a bargain. So the Capri on the Insight table, absolutely fantastic. Customer upgraded, and we've got it here. You can test it here. See you on the 27th die, all packed and ready. Yay! And the other one is the Simply 16 over in Cambridgeshire on a Littlefoot frame. it is a bargain. So if you're in the market for a frame that you can fit into most rooms in a normal British house, and you don't have space for a big long arm like this in terms of the frame size, then the 16-inch Simply is a lovely machine and you can't really go wrong on it. And that customer's been doing some beautiful quilting on it. She just wants to upgrade to an Amara. So make her dream come true and visit our Pre-Loved Long Arms website. Okay, now I'm going to hold off for a second and just say that in the background here, we've got two of the Dream Big quilts. That one over there is by Carol, done on a Moxie. And you might have seen it hanging up or in the classroom at the Festival of Quilts. She's done a fabulous job. So if you're thinking about getting a long arm, the Moxie is a great place to start. And it's not, thank you, Liz. Yeah, thank you. And it's a great place to start. And it really is a really good way to get into your long arm journey. Long Arm Learning Curve is our Facebook group that's a really good place as well to share your experiences of the long arm journey that you're on, either the UK or the international one. It's open only to Handy Quilter owners. So we hope that if you've got a long arm from Handy Quilter, that you join us on that group. It's a lovely sociable group, and you can post your photos of your achievements. All right, have a wonderful weekend, and Monday will be a time for reflection, but also, it's a celebration of a life well lived. And I hope that we can join together and do that. All right. You take care, everybody, and I will talk to you next Friday. It'll be from the classroom, so take care.